yeah, so it's like I said, it's very, very hard to shit right now. Very hard to shit.
What? Oh, right, yeah, you were having some trouble, eh? Did you not admit you were
Thank you.
using anyways, we'll look into habits, sorry.
Yeah. We'll not. We'll leave that for the after the podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in, guys, girls, ladies, germs, jelly spoons, and everybody else. Whatever you identify as, whatever you are, whatever you feel like you are, whatever you need to be.
Spoon. I like that.
Unidentified
Jelly
CIS
spoons.
gang.
Welcome to the Unofficial official podcast. As always, joined by the terrible triad. We have me, Tro them all, gang. We have Alex.
Yeah.
Or Eloise Music on YouTube. Just released some cracking songs of their own making. Pretty good. Just give it a listen. As always, as well, we have. Very welcome. Enjoyed it. As always, we have Captain Privilege of the Fought Chronicles streaming on behalf of the Indie Scots on a Thursday night on the Indie Scots channel because we salty last week about that.
I was not salty. I really don't think I was salty. I was merely correcting the record, okay? People claim to get confused all the fucking time with this shit, and it's really not that confusing. Okay, there's a network, then there's a channel, then I'm a character on that channel, then I may or may not have another couple of channels, and you know, just keep up.
Yeah, it's not confusing, it's just a web of lies and deceit.
It's exactly how I designed it. Well, speaking of lies, fucking Joe Rogan with his fucking gamer hate. Joe Rogan, fake gamer girl, Joe Rogan. So, for anyone that didn't catch it, COINTELPRO Rogan decided to join the ranks of SJWs and attack the absolute innocent gamers. What did we do to you, Joe? What did we do? Yeah. And he said that he believes that video games are a quote-unquote problem. I think he did leave the ematic at the end of that sentence, so I thank him for that much at least. But yeah, the internet earlier on this week was ablaze with both Joe Rogan hate and pro Rogan propaganda. So yeah.
I love that every time we have a topic, you know, I don't know about, you're like, for anyone that doesn't know, and it's just me. Yeah. It's only me.
Are you implying that no one's listening? What?
No, what I meant was, you're very diplomatic about it. You're not like, right, Alex, fucking listen up. You're like, for anyone that doesn't know.
You've got to fill in the blanks for some people. Do you know what I mean? Not everyone listens to COINTELPRO Rogan.
I thought you just mean me.
Yes. So the quote I think he said is, for some people they are a complete and utter waste of time. So I think he tried to kind of not be like, yeah, there's obviously people that make a living as streamers and gamers and stuff. It's a way to de-stress. I completely agree with that. But I do agree that it completely wastes so much fucking time. I know I went for a stint of about 4 months where I didn't play any games, and by fucking God, it was the most productive I've ever been in my life. Whereas I'm playing a bit more games now, and I'm like, oh, I can't really be arsed doing that. I'll do it tomorrow. And you put things off because it's addictive. It's an instant reward system. So I get where he's coming from. And from the sounds of things, I haven't actually heard the podcast yet. I'm going to give it a listen to this. But he's speaking for a place experience where he's like, I spent 4 years of my life playing it. I was like an alcoholic with him, which a lot of the time it can feel like, especially you're doing something, you're like, oh man, I really just want to play that game. I'm like that with Kingdom Come Deliverance just now. Like, I finish a shift at 11 PM and go, I could really go on and play Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's like, I've got work at 10 the next day. If I go on and play this, I know for a fact I'm going to be on until 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 playing it, and tomorrow's going to be fucked. Like, my day is going to be shite just because I'm tired and shattered and worn out. But sometimes I do it just because I'm like, I'll just go on for a wee bit, and I know that's a lie, and I'm lying to myself saying, I'll just stay on to like 12:30, that'd be fine. Then I look at the clock and I'm like, oh fuck, it's 2:30. It's like, okay, I'll stay on to 3, and then I'll go to bed at 3. And I look at the clock and it's 3:30, and I go, well, I've missed 3, so I need to stay on to 4. And it's like, whoops. Yes.
Fucking Scotch beast cunt. Sorry, what?
So, yeah.
I wonder what was going on. It was a bit. You were doing a bit.
Yeah, I totally was playing the game whilst playing the podcast. What?
I think Priv's got Fallout 76 going on.
Listen, all I'm going to say is he didn't quite outright say, "Oh, you know, it can be beneficial to people." He actually said that you know you're spending all this time on it and there's no point, and it's not as if there's an end goal or career path out of it, which was so disrespectful that even Ninja, our Lord and Savior, Tyler Blevins Ninja, spoke up
He's a big streamer,
and
Alex.
fucking dashed down. Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, Ninja's a big
Alex.
streamer.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Tyler Ninja Blevins, fucking so hot right now, such a big streamer right now.
So hot right now.
He came out and he dashed down Joe Rogan with a very polite, well-mannered video just speaking about, yeah, I totally agree with you. Kind of like what Joe said, it can be a problem for some people, but don't dismiss the idea that there is actually plenty of opportunity within the gaming industry.
Definitely.
There's esports for a start, so you can make it professional. If you professional esports players will be spending an inordinate amount of time. Now, just like with anything, I think it's like sports. There's always been that contention of, oh, it's not a real sport. It's like, well, actually, if you gauge,
It does take skill.
yeah, if you gauge the amount of time and effort put into it, the practice, the repetition of such practice, and the factoring in whether or not someone gets good, quite literally whether they get better or not, that fucking matters. Now that, I think, draws the line of distinction of what Joe's saying. There's a difference between playing X amount of hours ranked in fucking Modern Warfare versus Warzone, sound like a boomer there, versus actually just sitting playing fucking Skyrim and picking daisies all day,
I think, right, so as the resident non-gamer, I think that, alright, I sit and watch Ryan play video games all the fucking time, right? But at the end of playing the game, he's a lot more calm, like he's a lot more chill. I think it's good for like escape and like mental health and all that kind of thing. So even if it's not like gonna make you money or whatever, it can be good in other ways.
Yeah,
definitely. But you need to tread the fine line with that, because I know some games I play, I come out after it feeling more annoyed and irate. For instance, playing Smite. If you're playing Smite, right, and you're on and it's just you and one other person that you know, the smallest team that you can have is 3 people, which is a joust. Just fucking let you play it, it's amazing. But if that one random is shit or leaves halfway through and you get pumped, it's really frustrating, because you're like, I played really well that match and I get shagged because he wasn't pulling his weight, or they fucked off, or they're new to the game, and it can be really frustrating. And if that happens 5 matches in a row, now the matches normally are like 20 minutes, so it's not like short matches. So if you got five matches in a row where that keeps happening, that's like an hour and 20 minutes of your time where you're just frustrated and irate because you keep getting pumped because of someone else. It's not actually your fault, and you're like, I just want to enjoy the game. I want to get just a couple of wins. Just a couple of wins is nice, and that can leave you more frustrated after it. So I think that as well comes down to the kind of game that you play and how you approach it, because there's some people that take it very, very seriously, and there's like it affects them, like really affects them when they lose or when they aren't playing as well, and it's quite disheartening for them. And there's some people who are like, they're just casuals. They see it as, oh, this is a happy fun time. I'm not a total addict. And I've been on both sides. That like I ebb and flow. Like there's some days where I'm like, let's fucking smash this, let's do good, and then you get pumped and you're like, oh man, I'm going off, guys, I can't be arsed with this anymore. And you go off because you're like, I'm done getting absolutely rattled. There's other days where you get beaten, you're like, I'm just having fun, man, this is good. So it depends on the kind of person you are, I think, in all honesty. And Yagi's going to comment saying, fuck you, games are great. And I love games. This is coming from an actual gamer who, like, fucking, I love gaming, man, I love it. But I do see there is detrimental effects to it. And I think as well in the kind of path of esports as well, there's a lot of delusional people out there who think, I'm going to play games and get rich, and I'm going to be a streamer and get rich from it. And it's like, nah, man, it's actually quite unlikely, considering how many people are trying to do that you're going to make it big. And it's a shame. So it is, because there's people like, yeah, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to stream it. It's going to be great, and I'm going to be brilliant. And it's like, no, streaming's actually quite difficult to amass a massive following. Coming from literally me and Prev both stream, and we understand the hardships of it. and it's very difficult to get people to watch and get people to stay watching and coming back.
I never
And
mind doing
it's
that whilst being good at a game.
exactly,
And then
exactly.
taking
That's
that to a professional level, yeah, it's a
yeah.
whole nother.
It's
thing.
difficult. It's very difficult, and it's not something everybody's going to do. And a huge proportion of it is luck. Literally, are you lucky enough to have somebody that's going to come in and chat to you while you're playing? For example, when you start up as a streamer and you've got no views, it is fucking depressing, because you need to have views to get views. Like, people, when they look down the list, they go, "Oh, there's no to watching that person. I'm not going to watch them because there's no reason to." It's that kind of crowd mentality. But if you go down a kind of smaller game that's got 4 or 5 viewers, you go, all right, cool, let's see what's up. You go in. If the person's entertaining, they're chatting to chat, they're kind of playing the game decently as well. It's a lot to juggle, and it can be very, very frustrating if you're, for weeks and weeks, you're streaming and streaming and streaming, and you're getting 3 views, but it's a bot coming in and then disappearing. Coming in and then disappearing, and nobody's commenting, and somebody joins the chat and you notice and you go, oh, hey, thanks for dropping by, how you doing? And it's a bot and you don't get an answer. It's like, oh, fuck. It's brutal. It can be absolutely demoralising, and I think that way from it, absolutely, esports you can make a career out of, but you need to be really good. Streaming you can definitely make a career out of, but again, you need to be entertaining, and you don't necessarily need to be good at a game, but you need to be likeable. And a lot of people, and this goes for me as well, I need to force myself to be more kind of way and chatty when I'm streaming. A lot of people that want to be streamers and gamers, the reason that they're so into games is because they're not as great socially. I know for a fact I'm 27 years old and I'm still, I wouldn't say I'm adept socially. Like, a lot of the time I'm kind of like, oh, I'm a fucking moron. Like, do you know the amount of times, right? If I see someone, I go, hiya, and they go, oh, hi, how you doing? I go, I'm good. I then walk away, and 20 minutes later I go, oh, I should have said, how are you? Fuck. Like, 27 years on Earth, and that's not an automatic response for me. So obviously I'm speaking on my behalf, I can't speak for everybody, but a lot of people that want to be big streamers and be online, it's because they haven't got great social skills, and they're like, I don't want to speak to people in real life, I want to just do it all online, which for some people works great, but for some people that nervousness and that awkwardness comes across, and that can make it more difficult for them to get big or to make a career out of it, which is, it's shite. So it is, because you're like, this is this person's dream, and it might never be realised no matter how long they pour into doing it, which is, it's a shame. It's bad, but it's,
I think there's a lot to be said, like, for what he said, but I think more so this kind of shines a light on the typical shit that has been going on and will continue to go on, where somebody says something and then everyone takes that one thing that they said way miles out of context and just starts running with it. I think it's also really interesting that we have a Joe Rogan attempt at cancellation lately, and then this kind of gets thrown into the mix. And also the fact that it's like, oh, we attacked gamers, let's get the gamers onto them. And it's, to me, there's something a bit sus about the whole thing. It don't smell kind of right. I don't know, maybe it's just innocent in the sense of, because he was thrust into the public eye lately, it's easier to
he's
dissect
more
what he said. Yeah, it's more under a microscope at the moment. But like you say, when you actually listen to what he says, he goes on to explain that actually he has a quote unquote problem with Quake, and he plays it religiously. He literally has an entire games room in his studio where he plays it to fucking death, to the point where he was literally like, him and Jamie, his sound guy, were Jamie was like walking out on him and tell like, bro, you've got a fucking problem, man. Joe's like, what? What's wrong? What's wrong? We've been playing for like 6-7 hours after the goddamn recording, man. I need to go home. Oh, come on, just stay while me around, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing, because a lot of games, especially kind of the shooters and FPSs that's team v team, they're short rounds. So you think, I can fit one more in, but before you know it, that one turns into 10, and you've spent an hour and a half playing a game without realising it. Mm-hmm. That's the dangerous part, because people need to live, man. They need to do shit with their lives. They need to get on with stuff. You need to take care of yourself, and that's something that I'm fucking awful for. As I'll go, oh man, like, I've just finished work, I'm quite sweaty, I could go for a shower, but there's no point, I'm just gonna get sweaty again, let's just play a game. And before you know it, you're like, oh man, like, I stink, I'm not taking care of myself.
So
that's something I've made
when I actually did waste a load of time playing a game, right? During my A-levels, I was meant to be doing revision or whatever, and I spent like hours and hours and hours trying to work out how to build a house on Sims.
Nice. Good game though. Great game. That's the Sims is dangerous because you're like, yes, look, he's got a promotion. You're like, oh, fuck, my life's gone down the drain. In real life, it's gone. It's all fucking gone. But in Sims, I'm a fucking CEO. Look at my house. It's. I think it's the dangerous part of games is the instant rewards. Like you do something, you're like, yes, fucking yes, I've smashed it. But in actuality, in your real life, you're not doing those things, and it's. I do. I'm on Joe Rogan's side 100% with this. Games are phenomenal. They are amazing for stress relief, but they're also very addictive, and a lot of people get sucked into them, and they don't. They don't kind of learn how to be a responsible adult and how to live their life and how to do good at people, which
People
is
things.
it's a shame. It's a shame.
I don't know. Like yeah, like you said, like the only issue I take with stuff like that is that in all reality, like anything can and will be addictive.
Yeah, you can
You
get
know,
addicted to literally anything.
like sort of saying like Alex, like outside the gaming, like is there any type of activity that you maybe spend too much time on or get too into? Is there anything like that?
I paint. I lose a lot of time painting.
See,
And
but that doesn't sound, even just saying that has no
no, no,
connotations of nefariousness at all. That
no,
sounds
but it
so
doesn't.
wholesome.
But
That sounds like
also,
something you should do. It sounds like something that's culture.
no, but it's
But
not.
Yeah.
It's not because I'm not very good at it. But I'll like start at 7 o'clock in the evening, and then it'll be like 5 in the morning, and I'll be like, "What the fuck? I've been here for literally
Yeah.
fucking hours. I should go to bed now."
I
But
mean,
It's
it,
fair.
it
didn't
just depends
realise the
how
time was
you.
gone.
I think it just depends how you correlate that to what it's worth to you. Like you say, maybe if you're not getting better at it, but does that matter if you're enjoying it? I know I've sunk hours into certain games that I genuinely felt like done
But
me a
it
whole
is
world of
bad
good.
when I should be like writing and creating content. Like that's what I should be doing, but I'm procrastinating
Yeah.
doing that
But
by
well, I think there's something that we need to like factor in as well. Is that like that there is a potential for us to be too harsh on ourselves, especially as
Yeah.
content creators, especially in 2020 when everyone's like, oh, you got to do stuff, you got to be active, you got to be doing this, you got to be doing that. Sometimes, not all the time, and not in an addictive pattern to an extent, but I think sometimes we should feel more than fucking able to just cut loose, let loose, and not feel guilty about spurging
Yeah.
it for a day or two, or here or there, just doing what we want to do.
Mhm.
Because that to me is like it's essential. I know I've done it. Even just this morning, literally, I wanted to get up early and start editing and doing stuff, but I didn't. I sat and played some of my game. I felt guilty for it, but then I, tried to convince myself otherwise. Like, look, you need right
But
to feel guilty for it.
last night during the quiz, I could feel myself starting to like dissociate and starting to zone out because I was so like overwhelmed because I'd had so much going on this week, and
Hmm
I was like, I can't leave, I can't go because I feel really bad. So I
Yeah.
stayed asleep to the end of the quiz, and I could feel myself getting worse and worse. And I was
Oh,
texting Ryan like, Ryan, I'm not good.
oh, fucking hell. That's a shame.
And then
Yeah.
that's why I was like, right, I'm gonna go now. Bye. As soon as the quiz ended,
Oh, right. I thought you were
I can't
genuinely
do
just
it
busy
anymore.
today, right?
But I
Yeah. I
felt
think.
but I knew I had to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one thing we're all. I know. I mean, I don't know so much about Proud, but I'm very guilty of kind of feeling the societal pressure of I'll stay in this call a bit longer. And it's like I should have went to bed 2 hours ago, but everybody's on. It's a good. It's a nice time to chat and kind of get to know people and get a bit more prominent in certain communities. And it's like,
Yeah.
nah, man. At the end of the day, nobody's gonna look after you except you. So you need to put yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, are like, oh man, I'm selfless. I take care of this person, that person, that person. You can't take care of people without taking care of yourself. And that's something that's kind
Oh,
of
fuck
forgotten
it.
nowadays.
I hate
So many
throwing
people
away.
don't do that.
As content creators, that's the kind of pressure that we have is that we kind of feel like I feel like I have to be creating all the time, or have to be networking all the time, or have to be doing something all the time, and then I crash.
Yeah, it gets too much. I think we all need to kind of, as Pref said, we all need to give ourselves a break and be like, listen, I deserve this. I've put a lot into it. Like you, special you've got a lot going on. You've just fucking moved down to England. Like you've moved away. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're in the middle of getting ready to move again, and there's all sorts of other shit going on. And you're creating content. You're putting out new songs. You're writing new music, and it's like, now you've earned this break. You just chillax, just relax, feet up, just for a day, and be like, okay.
Yesterday, right?
That
It
is
was
it.
30 degrees here, but because I'm going out today at lunchtime, and I promised I would make something to eat. So I promised I would bake, but it was 30 degrees. But I still, because I felt so like I had
Oh my
to,
god.
I was baking in 30-degree heat yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus. I hope it's good though.
it's good. I'm not gonna lie. I'm quite good
Delicious.
at baking.
Nice. On the vein of taking care of yourself, I've started trying to eat healthier. There's going to be a lot of people that, I say a lot of people, there's not that many people that hear the podcast, but of the people that hear the podcast, there'll be a lot of people that go, fuck off, that's a fad. But I basically try to cut out carbs, which is it's along the vein of keto, but it's more of a kind of, yeah, let's just try and eat what our ancestors ate, because grains and shit are actually fucking awful for you. They cause inflammatory issues, and there's so much research. Look it up. I'm not going to fucking try and convert people, but it's lit. So I'm trying to eat healthier. My God, see the amount of sweet corn I'm eating, my shits look like cobs of corn. It's fucking mental.
Thanks for that.
It's mental. But yeah, I'm eating just loads of meat, loads of veg. Obviously, you're vegan, Alex. Sorry. But loads of meat, loads of veg, loads of protein, colourful veg, some good kush. I'm digging it, but it's one of those ones. Obviously, I've just had a son, so we have a lot of delicious snacks in the old cupboard. It's so tempting to just go and eat them, and I'm like, I can't do it. I need to resist eating all the shit, because there's so much, like, the fucking, it's crazy. It's crazy how much shit there is in that cupboard. I'm like, I can't do it. I need to not do it.
I've managed to cut out like eating after 8 o'clock.
Nice.
I was getting a lot of bread and pastry for like work food. I've somewhat whittled that down to just fucking tortilla wraps for like slotting some sort of borderline healthy and vegetable filled shit. Drink a fuck ton of water. I have jumped back on the caffeine lately a bit. I'm having a bit of trouble pulling myself off the caffeine. That's a fucking whore.
Yeah, I think caffeine's one of those things you can use it in a proactive way, but it's about limiting yourself. Like, I'm the exact same. I have a black coffee every single morning, but I don't have a huge amount. I have like a teaspoon of instant coffee, a bit of hot water, and then a wee bit of cold water, and I just tank it. I just slam it. But it stops me if I'm having those delicious white cans of Monster, which are just like not good for you. So I have that. They're so delicious, man. They're just so fruity. But I have that. And then I'm trying to drink water. The thing is, right, see, when I drink more water, I become more thirsty and my lips get chapped. It's really frustrating, because I can, like, see before I was trying to be healthy, I could go days where I'd be like, I'll just have a can of Tango, we can of Pepsi Max, and that's me. And I'm not thirsty. But since I've started drinking more water, my body's like, nah, man, fucking, you're thirsty all the time. You need to drink 2 litres a day easily. Look at your lips, they're all chapped now because you're so thirsty. Drink more. And it's like, oh man, this is effort.
Yeah, it's
why?
a sign that you're not getting enough water in general.
Yeah, it's kind of brutal.
Like diet thing, I'm the absolute opposite of you, Troll. I'm what's called like a high carb, low fat vegan, which is like where basically all I eat is carbs.
Yeah, I love carbs.
And I mean, I would
to be fair,
I used to be like horrendously underweight, and I've put on about 2 stone in the last year, which I needed to put on.
Gang.
And now I've like completely settled, and this is like obviously where my body wants to be, which is like yay, sorted. But what I've found is I have so much more energy all the time.
Yeah, it's completely different for different people. Absolutely, I think for me, I'm a fat fuck, and I eat so much carbs.
Differently as well, and that's why I'm never going to be that kind of person where I'm like, you should be vegan, because actually maybe that's not right for your body.
Exactly. Everybody's different. Everybody's got their own background, and you've got your own biology that you're kind of descended from, and like there's people that can handle really, really, really high fat diets because of where their ancestors came from. There's people that can't, again, because of where their ancestors came from. It's so much, it's ingrained in biology.
Careful, like, it's starting to sound like Nick Cannon, bro.
no, genuinely, it's literally where your ancestors are from in the planet. There was research done into Inuits who eat a lot of kind of whale blubber and high fat, and they literally don't have any cholesterol issues, and they have stupidly high fat diets, and they're completely healthy. But if you go to somewhere else where there wasn't a lot of high fat content when their ancestors were growing up, it's literally just how they've evolved with what they've eaten, been eating. They can't handle it as much, and they get higher cholesterol and they get blood pressure issues, and it's fucking mental. Like there's so much. There's a really interesting book on it that breaks it down. It's called The Primal Blueprint by Mark Sisson. I made the mistake of downloading the Audible version that's unabridged, which is 12 hours long.
Jesus Christ.
It's a fucking trek. Don't get the unabridged version if you're gonna do it, guys. Just get the fucking normal one, right? Because it keeps it simple and short. But this literally goes in depth with absolutely everything. It's like, here's why you should eat this. It has this effect on you. There's been research. It literally quotes studies and shit, and it's like all scientifically backed, which is it's fucking interesting. It's not one of those fad diets where people are like, yeah, you should do this because X, Y, Z. It's like, no. This is right. Here's the science that backs it up. Here's the tests. Here's the research into it. Like it's legitness. But yeah, if you don't want to eat like that, don't eat like that. Do what works for you, man. But I know I'm a fat slut and I love sugar, and I hate how much I love sugar, so I need to stop it. It's horrible. I've got two packs of fabs, right? So my mate's hooking up on Sunday, and this is before I started this. And I bought 2 packs of fabs, so it's a nice day. We get some fabs. There's like 5 fabs left. You've never had a fab? It's an ice lolly.
Wow, Alex.
It's so to be fair, it's got milk chocolate on it, so it isn't vegan. So you probably wouldn't have tried it. But it's like a strawberry flavored base, and then it's got like a kind of creamy milky coating, and then at the very top it's chocolate and then sprinkles.
Oh yeah. Okay. I know what you're on about.
Mate, they are phenomenal. And I can't stop. Every time I'll finish dinner, I'll be like, I could go something sweet. You know that way after dinner, you're like, I'll have a little dessert. I'm like, I'm just sitting, I'm just thinking, there's fabs in that freezer. There's fabs in that fucking freezer.
It's not an ice lolly, but it's actually nice. If you freeze grapes, try that, because they're nice, and it gives you that same like thing.
That is the most vegan ass thing I've ever.
To be fair, I've actually had a lot of people saying
vegan. I do eat ice cream sometimes.
So
vegan ice cream, gang. I have heard some people say that if you want chilled wine, freezing grapes is brilliant for it because it doesn't dilute it. You don't get any ice water in it. Do you know what I've actually been having to crave it? I've been having a couple of hazelnuts.
Oh, hazelnuts are so
weird.
good.
Yeah, they're a little bit sweet, but it's just enough sweetness that I'm like, okay, I've got that in my system. I'm fine. Let's carry on, which is lit. It's working pretty well, but oh man, it's a slog. I'm not looking forward to the what they call the keto flu. I've done fuck tons of research on this. It's actually quite sad. As a fat man, I should be thin, but I'm not because I can't commit. But the keto flu is basically when your body's getting used to not having sugar and carbohydrates because that's what your brain runs on. It runs on glucose. Yeah, so you feel like shit for like a week, but then after your body gets used to turning fat into what's called ketones. That's why people go on about keto and ketosis. So it turns the fat in your body into ketones, which your brain then uses in place of glucose. So once that happens, you're like, okay, I'm quote unquote ketosis adjusted or fat loss adjusted, whatever the fuck it, all the stupid, ugly, stinky buzzwords they've got. That basically, once you've got that, you feel more healthy. And you're like, yeah, I feel phenomenal. I actually feel like I can take on the world. But yeah, it's a fucking slog, man. It's such a goddamn slog.
Yeah, it's a bit much. Like, to be honest, like that's the one issue. We went tried to go vegetarian at one point, myself and the missus, and we were fairly successful to a point. The corn was getting fucking dull, like, to be fair, but we're mixing it up with some decent vegetable mixes and stuff like that. And then we both got ill, and I don't mean like slightly ill. I mean we both got fucking really, really, really sick. I think it was just like a basic as fuck flu or something, or like a heavy flu. But my god, literally my body's instinct when we got better was like, I need to eat fucking meat now. I need to get some shit in my body.
I've had the absolute opposite experience. So I stopped eating meat when I was like 12, right? So it's been 7 years-ish. And so in the middle of that, I had an eating disorder, to be fair, which is why I went vegan, so that I could kind of like control my diet without not eating anything. So I found that basically as soon as I went vegan, because mentally I had that control, I started to feel better. And so now I can't imagine going back to not being vegan, because this is the best way for me to like be a functional human being
Mhm.
feel healthy. I've not been like ill. I've not had a flu or anything in years now. And like it's kind of completely changed my whole world and my whole view on things.
Yeah.
So this is what we're saying. This is what I'm trying to say. Is basically all things are different for all people, and you can't like. I'm not going to sit here and be like, "Oh, well, you're bad because you were trying to go vegetarian or whatever." But, like,
Yeah.
that's not because like, it's different for everyone. You know?
Yeah, that's the thing. You can't paint everybody with the same brush. Like
No.
eating just kind of veg and meat for me might work phenomenally. It has before. I've done it before and I felt exceptional. But there's other people that might try it and think, oh man, this just does not. It does not work well with me. I feel awful. Do you know what's really helped me? See Frank's original hot sauce, cayenne pepper hot sauce. That shit is phenomenal. It's so good and it's completely keto friendly. There's no carbs.
Oh
There's no
wow.
sugar in it and it's so full of flavour. So I have that on pretty much everything now, which I think is probably the reason that on Thursday,
I was
Trev,
about
I
to
was
say, yeah, what you were
yeah,
talking about
I
some
had
problems with your
Issues.
bowels
yeah,
earlier on the podcast, yeah?
yeah, I had an asshole explosion on Thursday. So it was I was just spewing molten lava from my anal ring, which was
Oh,
it wasn't pleasant, but I think it's a combination of my body getting used to being like, where's the fucking carbs, bro? Where's the fucking carbs? And all the hot sauce, man. Hot sauce is so
Well,
good.
also, you
Like,
get a lot of like fiber and stuff from carbs as well, don't you? So your body will have to
yeah,
get used to that as well.
exactly. Yeah. So it's that's what it is. I'm trying to eat a bit more nuts as well because they're quite high in fiber, and all the veg and stuff as well. So I'm eating a lot more veg. But man, veg with butter, a little bit of seasoning. It's dino. It's so good. I'm just having that with like steaks or chicken breasts, and you can have cheese as well because cheese is fucking amazing. So I'm like grilling some chicken breasts, and then I'll put some cheese on them, and a little bit of hot sauce in the cheese, and I'll just keep them grilled. And it's
felt like a dark
so
fucking
good.
Wallace and Gromit reboot there. Like, cheese is fucking amazing.
Oh man, cheese is bay. Cheese is bay.
Well,
So good.
on that note, to be fair, I'm awarded the nearest Burger King to stuff my face because I ain't done one of those in a while. But yeah,
I might get a.
I'm going to start eating the don't carby way like you're talking about.
Oh
Start
mate,
training.
mate, all the
Take that training manual that Pat Chilly gave us way earlier on the podcast and
yes,
actually start applying
yes,
it. Knew we're out of
it's not a
lockdown.
bad shout.
Now I can afford a skipping rope and some other things to get my ass
Damn
in deep.
Skippy.
I'm gonna be fucking mate. I'm gonna look like fucking
Don't
Ben
you call
Affleck
me
and Batman
Skippy.
vs Superman.
Skippy the bush kangaroo. Don't call me Skippy, mate. I was gonna say all the fucking takeaway places are dirt cheap just now as well. You can get a cheeseburger from McDonald's for 50p.
Oh god.
Like they've cut all the prices to try and get people to eat out more to try and keep businesses afloat, which I'm just like, that is awful. Awful for the health of the nation. That is fucking
That
atrocious.
shows you just what they're fucking made of. They can sell you it for 50p, bro. That's disgusting.
Yep.
It's gross.
It's crazy. But to be fair, when it comes to McDonald's, actually, I used to work in McDonald's, I'll have you know, and all their meat and burgers, it is genuinely from British farms. It's all British meat. But it's the fact they buy in bulk from their own suppliers. That's how they can get it so cheap, which is like, cheeky. But yeah, I don't know if they're getting a subsidy or something. I don't really know how the fuck they're able to go that cheap. But I probably will be going to McDonald's and be like, can I get 5 cheeseburgers with no buns and no sauce, just pickles and seasoning, please? So good, man. So good.
That's rank.
It's so
Oh man.
disgusting, man.
Oh, my mouth's actually watering thinking about it. I fucking love that shit.
I got a weird one
So
with the
good.
McDonald's, man. Like, eventually, like, I don't know what it is, but excuse me, I was eating them and just getting a headache. Anytime I was
Yeah.
eating McDonald's, I would get a fucking headache, like 5 times. I don't know if it was maybe the watered down Coke, as well, because I would always get the fucking Coke, and it just, oh, bro, just no. By the time I got halfway through that shit, my head was just me, and it became
Pounding.
like a every time to the point where it just
The
like
fuck?
I just don't eat McDonald's now, man. I just don't do it. I very much associate it with that's gross. You
Yeah,
know,
with pain.
It
whereas
makes you feel disgusting, I always think.
yeah, I never feel good eating a McDonald's, and I'm always hungry like less than a couple hours after it.
Yeah.
It's just full of MSG and shit for me, man. I'm just like, nah. So Burger King, however, hell yeah, I can eat that shit all day, bruh. All fucking day.
Oh,
They don't water
no,
down no
it's
cokes or
even worse.
nothing.
Oh,
Ah, it's so good. It's so salty.
worse.
The beef's so salty, bruh. It's like, what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, if I ever get a McDonald's, I get extra season. I'm like, get some more of that salt and pepper on that bad boy, please. So good, man.
I need to watch it.
So good.
Man, I've got this fucking mixed peppers, fucking kind of pepper crusher shaker corn thing. What'd you call it?
Yeah, grinder.
That's the one.
I thought you know what that is, Priv.
That's so Rainbow Rhythms.
That's a fucking good quote. That is a very good one.
You have literally held onto that the entire.
Yep. You've been waiting. You're like,
Touche.
I was
where can
waiting
I?
for a good
Touche.
opportunity, and that was it. That was it.
For anyone who isn't, for those who aren't aware, this isn't an Alex quote this time. Fucking Dumb and Dumber here love to try and slip in fucking peep show quotes, so slyly and so fucking.
Speaking
They're
of
so
that,
relatable.
right, this is the weirdest thing, right? So someone's getting one of my lyrics tattooed on them.
What? Actually,
Yeah.
that's lit. That's legitness. That's Rainbow Rhythms.
That is Rainbow Rhythms.
What lyric is it they're getting tattooed? If you don't mind me asking.
I've been found where the lost things go.
Oh, that's a nice lyric though. That's I really like that lyric a lot.
That's pretty fucking dope.
It's lit.
Man. Deep as shit.
But yeah, I just
Like
got a
that.
message yesterday like, yeah, I'm getting your lyric tattooed on me. I was like, oh, okay.
Now, this
You
wasn't one of
have
your many
stance?
nonces, was it?
It actually wasn't as well.
This wasn't your harem
well.
of noncery.
It actually wasn't.
Good.
Ah,
That's dope.
That's
man.
nice.
That's really cool. I'm
If it was, they'd
fucking
have told
hella
me they'd
jealous.
had to like give me copyright money for it. or something.
Why does no one get fucking my name is Captain Privilege and fucking Indie Scots and shit like that tattooed to
Do
them?
you know
God
what?
damn it.
Do you know it should just be like, what is it? Goys, bells, and whatever the rest of
Katie's
Yeah.
literally got his balls, yeah. Just the full intro tattooed to their back.
a paragraph.
But yeah.
Relations of the species.
Yeah. That's pretty fucking lit, Alex. That's exceptional.
Yes.
It is. You said you had a very busy week. Do you want to elaborate on any of that is, or do you want to keep that private?
No, I've had a meeting with a guy that has a like a little record label, and he like does Glastonbury
Nice.
stuff. And he was
Cool.
lovely, and he gave me like loads of tips and stuff, some like helpful things, and I'm in contact with the BBC
Nice.
and some other shit. But yeah,
That's lit.
it's just been a bit of a mad week.
Yeah, it sounds like it's one of those crazy weeks where after you feel fucking drained and you're just like,
So knackered.
did all? Yeah, you're just like, did that really just fucking happen? I'm so buzzing for you. That's fucking phenomenal.
Thanks.
That's
Yeah,
really cool,
he
man.
went to me. He was like, "So what is it you actually want to do with your music?" And I was like, "I never thought I'd get this far, so I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know is the answer."
You should be like, I want to do world peace. World peace. The end of hunger.
I'll send you a video of his stuff because it's hilarious. It's really cool. His name is Lakido, Lord of the Lobsters.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It's amazing. I'll send you something. You would never
Yes.
think that he would want to be in contact with me. We're at complete opposite ends of a spectrum.
But that's how it works sometimes, especially like I've seen so much of that, so many of that. Like there was a really good mix of bands, musicians in my area when we were growing up, and even more so now. Some of the better gigs I've been to have always been ones where it has been a fucking radical mix of music, like from indie folk singing kind of country stuff at the start, right through to fucking jazzy, funky fusion shit in the middle, and then heavy, spurging out metal core, whatever, right at the end. You know, like, and I tend to find those are the most enjoyable people to
Yeah.
associate with and gigs to play with because you're actually having a, a huge range of musicians as opposed to these genre specific stuck up their own arse kind of people, you know, stuffy type, oh I'm the best in my, oh these people don't know how to do that or do this. whereas it's more a welcoming vibe. Oh, what you're doing is really cool. Like that's I've never heard anything like that before. You know.
Well, he said to me because if he listened to my stuff and he said, when I listened to it, I actually didn't care what you looked like.
Hmm. Yeah. That's
Good.
always one for me. Is like sometimes I tend to not like to find out what someone looks like,
Yeah.
even like podcasts and stuff like that, because you either
You
have your
paint
own
you
vision in
paint a
your
mental
head,
picture.
or
Yeah.
you don't give a flying fuck. And
Yeah.
then when it all becomes about the image, like you get a lot of these pop stars in that the day where it's this
Yeah.
virtue signaling bullshit fucking angle that they're coming
I'm not
It's
from.
being funny, but I'm a fuzzy egg, so no one needs to know what I look like.
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, that's fair.
I told
Do
him
you know,
about
I
Manny saying that I look like Annie Lennox, and he said, "Yeah, well, the answer to that is I look like Annie Lennox, but I sound like me."
yeah, that's a really good take on it. I think that's one of the good things about kind of content creators and stuff is people seem from my experience anyway they seem to naturally reach out to people that aren't like them and don't have the same kind of content because it means that you can offer something different. For example, if you've got someone that makes a lot of comedy stuff and they team up with someone quite serious, you've got a really good contrast, different content, different kind of music, different looks in different ways in the world, which I think is fucking great. Like, so obviously he's like fucking Prince of the Lobsters, which is fucking cuckoo, and yours is quite serious, quite morose stuff where it's like this is deep and personal, and that's totally different. But it could make such amazing work together because it's like here's this serious person with this quite funky fresh person, and it's like this is a good mashup, and it can mean that you both create something completely different, something
Yeah,
outside your own box, which can be fucking phenomenal. People love that shit. They love that shit.
yeah, mate.
I will love that shit.
Thanks, man.
I might clip that. Because I love shit.
I love shit. Gang. I think we also mentioned a little bit. We're gonna talk about the old Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. What's the latest on that, Priv? Because I don't keep up to date with anything.
Well, it's really spicy, really juicy, really long. But TLDR, uh,
Yes.
people may remember a year or two ago, Johnny Depp was somewhat cancelled throughout the hashtag #MeToo stuff. What Amber Heard
Yes.
very slyly done, even though through their divorce, I think through their divorce papers it was signed that she couldn't turn around and fucking try and throw him under the bus and vice versa. So she wrote a fucking sly little piece that she gave over to the newspapers about how she had been in a abusive relationship. Not specifically
What a
saying it
cunt.
was that relationship, but very much implying that it was.
Yeah.
Blaming him for all sorts of stuff, claiming that he was abusive, claiming that he'd beat her, claiming that he'd threatened to kill her dog, all sorts of fucking mad, crazy stuff. Now it wasn't entirely out of the realms of possibility because Johnny Depp has a bit of a reputation for being a Hollywood bad boy, a bit of a drug using alcoholic, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
The papers at the time were printing all kinds of mad stories about him blowing his fortune on fucking wine cellars and all sorts of shit. Fast forward to the Sun publishing this type of shit, him already having been dropped by Disney for Pirates of the Caribbean, the whole complaints being levied against Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them because he was a main part in one of the films
Mm-hmm.
there to try and get him exercise from that. Of what has transpired in the court hearings because he then decided to just take the Sun to court and take her
For
management to
slander.
fucking court for slander. And bit by bit by bit over the past few months, it has become abundantly clear that she was abusive. That if nothing else, she was the most abusive. She was doing things like leaving turds in the bed covers. She'd cut the tip of his finger off. There's audio recordings of her admitting to beating him, but it's stop being such a baby. I wasn't punching you. I was just hitting you. Threatening to fuck his shit up. She's since been accused of stealing one of her friends' actual sexual assault stories and using it as her own, implying it was her own. And then over above that, she's just been very fucking. Oh, sorry, there was another one where she'd assaulted her own sister And her sister was quoted as saying, like, I genuinely feared for Johnny's life. She threw me down the stairs. What the fuck's she going to do to him? Type shit. So,
What the fuck?
and the oddest sort of delusional little fucking court scenario, when Johnny was turning up for court towards the end days of the court proceedings, huge swaths of fans were turning up and cheering him on, cheering him out. When he came out, it was like a fucking beautiful scene. There were like hundreds of TikToks being made about what a humble and lovely guy Johnny Depp is. He came out with gifts for his fans, little handwritten notes saying thanks so much for the support, what have you. Amber Heard comes out to no fans to a press conference that she'd concocted through her PR agency, thanking the outpouring of support that she's received worldwide. I think you're kind of like,
Oh, that's awkward.
did you though?
It's not.
To
That's
several
non-existent.
people in the background who were there to heckle, go like, not fucking likely head, shouting all kinds of fuck, because it was down south, mate. Like, boo, you fucking cow. When she drove off in the van, there was hordes of folk just fucking round the van, just booing her and heckling her and shit.
Also, did you see that she'd on the way to one of the court things, she'd put a makeup bruise on her face.
Oh yeah, that was
What?
another whole thing. There was accusations that she'd been taking pictures of herself with makeup
You can
strategically
see the
placed to look
difference
like
between makeup
bruises.
bruises and real bruises. They do different.
Yeah, it's a shame because like I specifically try to steer away from this sort of shit, especially when it's in the hashtag Me Too phases. At the time, I think we did kind of jump on it because we were on on our monetizables because we were on a fuck J.K. Rowling thing. So to find out that Johnny Depp was in hot water, it was more so fuck you J.K. Rowling, what are you going to do now? You're in the one that's hot water, which is wrong. I've addressed that on the show. I felt kind of dirty about that ever since we genuinely never spoke about hashtag Me Too stuff in that light again. I think it really comes down to everybody has their day in court. Everyone should kind of be treated innocent until proven guilty. And although this wasn't an official court to prove that she violently assaulted him or what have you, I think the evidence is fucking wholly damning. Because
it's her
what
saying,
she'd done,
"I only hit you." It's like,
what she'd done was she would beat him, she would wind him the fuck up and beat him, and then when he was having a fucking breakdown over her assaulting him, she would then put a camera on him, and she released that footage, and that was part of the early hashtag MeToo footage, where she was making out that that was the whole tale of the story.
yeah.
When in actual fact, like I say, as we've come to find out, she was extremely abusive. I mean, even like, what was it, 2 weeks ago, Amber Turd was trending as it came out in the courts that she'd actually, in anger, took a shit on their bed. Like, who the fuck does that?
She's a
But
psychopath.
it's got even more spicier lately as it's come out that she'd allegedly had a threesome with Elon Musk and the fucking famous alleged lesbian model Cara Delevingne. And Johnny had apparently at one point found, apparently in his LA mansion, no less. So upon finding this out, allegedly, he's texted Elon Musk and said, "I will cut your dick off." To which Elon Musk, never been one for to hide away from such limelight and chicanery, said, basically fucking replied via Twitter saying, "Bring it, bro, cage match, you and me." So, oh please God, let there be an Elon Musk versus Johnny Depp cage match in 2021. I really want to see us get to Mars, so I hope Johnny Depp doesn't kill him. And everyone's kind of putting their bets on Elon Musk, but in the famous words of Hunter S. Thompson, famously portrayed by Johnny Depp in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, you can turn your back on a man, but never turn your back on a drug. So I hope he just gets hopped up on fucking all kinds of shit.
Fucking ham.
Goes fucking right into that cage. And goes full Captain Jack on his ass, bro. That'd be fucking amazing, man.
That is awful. Like, I actually feel so fucking bad for Johnny Depp, because it's like, yeah, my wife cheated on me in my mansion and had a threesome that I found out about. And then I get dragged through the mud because of fucking false bullshit allegations, or he probably did hit her right, but
Yeah.
in response to her hitting him
Yeah.
after she's done it, and she's painted this horrible picture that he's so violent and abusive. It's like, oh, you goaded him into that, and
I mean-
he's literally an addict, and you're taking advantage of that.
I
Like,
don't
what the fuck?
like.
So unbelievably angry. Like I'm sat here and I'm
Yep.
seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to see
It's-
what I am.
Well, it's
fucking
really
disgusting.
fucked, Amber. I think to be fair, and I issue the caveat, I'm sure it takes two to tango. I'm sure Johnny
Yeah,
Depp is not the
definitely.
most innocent man on the fucking planet by any means, but this is directly been shown in her fucking immediate cancellation. She's off the Aquaman project because she was the Queen Aqua Tits in Aquaman. She's not going to be in part 2. She was then relegated to trying to audition for the Batwoman part in the TV show when that came up when Ruby Rose thingied. As these allegations were all coming out and popping out, she never got the fucking part. And I'll be interested to see whether or not she actually works in Hollywood ever again after this kind of shit. Because I
Do you
don't
know-
know
She shouldn't be able to.
you could trust that kind of shit. Yeah, can you trust someone like that?
No.
Would you want to work next to someone like that?
No.
It's very
I-
fucking disconcerting, you know.
At the same time, cancel culture is fucking stupid. I
Yeah.
can't stand it. It's dumb. And there's always
Sorry.
when it comes to these. So your mic was really quiet there, Alex. I didn't hear that. Do you want to repeat that?
This isn't
Say it again.
cancel culture. But if someone's
But
legitimately fucking abusive, it's not cancel culture.
But
yeah.
in regards to that, we've only heard what the media has published, and there's 3 sides to every story. So there's each party side, and then there's the actual fucking truth, because everybody's always going to spin it. Now, I feel fucking awful for Johnny Depp. That's disgusting. But again, we don't actually know the truth, and we never will. We're only going to get the media's portrayal of it, which is
No,
shitty.
we don't know the whole
And I think
picture, but we definitely
Abusive
heard...
people in general, fuck that. But again, we don't actually know what Johnny Depp's done.
yeah,
Like,
we
she's
don't know the
only
whole
painted
picture.
the worst bits, and it's
We don't know
it's
the whole
fucking
picture,
awful.
but we do know what the
It's-
fuck she has done in certain
Yeah.
instances, because she's fucking point blank admitted it in the phone call.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there
That's
going,
fair,
"You do
that's
this to
fair.
me all the fucking time. You wind me up, and then you fucking batter me, and then you start fucking crying like I've done something. Like, what the fuck? You're just a shitty
It's-
person." And she all but fucking admits it on the phone
It's
call. Some of that stuff was the most damning, bro. It really was. It was
Yeah, it's just fucked, man. Like, what this? Like, it's fucking disgusting. How can you do that to another person?
drugs,
Like, how can you actually-
fame, and
well-
alcohol, baby. I think
True.
there's certain levels and tiers of this sort of stuff that you just can't understand. You know,
So
never mind.
people are just fucking wired like that.
Yeah, some people are just wired
True.
like that, and then you accelerate that by she's dating arguably one of the most sought after men in Hollywood. You know, so of course there's going to be elements that go to her head and elements of the behaviour, and if she's dating a druggie and an alcohol or an alleged drug user, an alcoholic or an alcohol drinker, then there's every chance she's partaking. You know,
It's true.
it's more likely that she's partaking. I will say, like, the differences in photos from about 5 years to now, she looks a little used up somewhat by the old,
Yeah.
cocaine fucking monster. That's just a fucking, you know, a tertiary.
Man.
I don't know.
Money fucks people's lives. Like, see, having so much money that you physically couldn't spend it, that 9 times out of 10 people go, I'm just going to blow this on drugs. It fucks people up, man. Like, it's just crazy.
I think there's a lack
Fucking
of
mental,
grounding
man.
with the
Yeah.
Hollywood stars,
Yeah.
because aside from the fact that their job is to play someone from another reality, you know, or play someone that is not them,
So,
to
like,
then go from that.
It's where, like, and if you get it twisted, because people do get it twisted, they get into the character and whatever.
Yeah, Heath Ledger and all that shit. Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
It's,
well, fucking, what's his name that sent the dead rat to the producers or what?
oh, Jared Leto and all that shit.
He's
Yeah.
did they not send a dead pig to Will Smith? And Will Smith is just like, bro, this is a fucking movie. What the fuck are you doing?
Well, to be
Fuck.
fair, to counter that, I really liked Wesley Snipes apparently never broke the character Blade the entire time he was on all 3 movie sets, and would just continuously sit in his trailer and smoke tons of weed. And whenever anyone came for him, just fully pretended to be the Blade character with shades on and everything, just totally
That's
freaking out the entire cast. I think that shit's
hilarious.
fucking I think
But
it can
he's not sending animal carcasses to people's homes.
No,
So I
no,
think
yeah,
that's
a little
quite
far,
a quite a difference. Quite a difference. Fuck me, man.
Jared Leto, the Joker that we'll never really fully have.
No, I think it's the Joker we don't really want.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Actually,
he was kind of.
really
I wasn't a
upset
fan.
he wasn't actually Joker. The rumor and scuttlebutt behind the scenes was that he was actually Robin, and had been violently abused by Joker, into thinking he was Joker, quite literally mind wiped into an alternate version of Joker, which we were going to find out, and then they were going to cast a really good Joker, but we never got that
The
far.
real question is, did that get released after it fucking tanked? Or was that before? Because that's one of those ones where it's like, I actually had a really good one in the wings and you all fucked it because you hated this one.
No,
Fuck you, idiots.
It was awkward because it was like part of the Snyderverse. Snyder had the vision, allegedly, but then obviously he got pulled. Like his, I think his daughter died during Justice League. So he fucked off, and the chat for Suicide Squad was the film was all but fucking cut, and they came, Warner Brothers came in and started making ridiculous demands and changes. So the director quite literally went, "I'm not putting my name to that. What the fuck?" And he all but shot the film, and they said, "Yeah, but we want to do this and we want to do that, and we want to make it like this and we want to make it like that." And he went, "Oh, cool, you cut it then. I'm away. I've got other work to be doing." Like, yeah, but we need you to recut the film. You can fucking fuck off. So they quite literally went and hired rap music video producers to cut the entire film, the rest of the film. Like, that's why if you actually watch Suicide Squad, the first 30 minutes of it's pretty banging, because it's just an elongated music video, in all honesty. But you cannot cut a fucking film just like that for an hour and a half, whilst Warner Brothers are, copying and pasting a bullshit storyline. Jared Leto got screwed. As crappy as that rendition was, he maintains that there was over an hour's worth of usable footage that he recorded. Like, it's several different takes for several different approaches that they would have used, and they eventually settled on less than 15 minutes for the entire film, and it was the most awkward cuts. Even in his own admission, he's like, "Nah, man, they've totally fucked me with that."
Yeah,
it was awful. So
fair. Fucking Hollywood's mental. On a sort of kind of related note, see when Suicide Squad was released, I was on holiday in Barcelona, and it was advertised fucking everywhere. But obviously it was in Spanish, so it was El Suicida Squad. You heard it everywhere. It was pretty fucking interesting.
I'm looking forward to the second one anyway. Fucking
I'll probably watch it.
James Gunn's directing it. Fucking what you call him? Fucking Guardians of the Galaxy boy that got cancelled. But then DC seen the fucking fuck cancelling that guy. He's fucking got the touch. Like, let's go.
These films have been banging. Let's get him in.
Which Guardians of the Galaxy guy?
Say that again?
Which Guardians of the Galaxy guy?
Oh, he was the director.
Oh, sorry. I got
He made it the thing. He made it so good.
Oh.
His plan: do good, movie good.
Yeah.
Good movie good.
Right. I think on that note, before we spiral off into my DC fanboy fetish, that would be as good a time as ever to cut it.
I believe you are correct.
You got any more music coming in the pipelines, Alex?
Yeah, on Friday there'll be something. I don't know what yet, but it will be out on Friday.
Yay!
Gang.
Joel,
that's what we like to hear. Not much. Streaming tomorrow, 10 till 12. The old Smash Bros. Ultimate. Fun, gang. I haven't streamed in like the last week and a half, so I'm kind of like, I need to get back on it. I've just felt kind of just like, ugh, but I'm like, no, I'm going to get the finger out and do it, because it's a waste of time me having the things to stream with if I don't actually fucking stream, you get me?
Yeah, I could totally.
How about yourself?
Yeah, it's been kind of weird and quiet in the old folk front. to an extent. We have not uploaded a middle vid in about, this will be the third week outside the podcast, but we did have episode 100 the other week there. That was really fun to make, fun to do. Shout out to everybody that could make it. And I just
Like a
fucking
breath.
um, for those that don't understand, Alex, listen to but yeah, I've just kind of taken a wee bit time to readjust and focus on some actual half decent edits. Got a whole bunch of other stuff in the pipeline, man. It's just fucking needing sorted and settled. And I'd rather just spend the time doing it at my own pace at
Make
the
it shit
moment.
hot.
Yeah, and even just to that, like I was saying, like, you know, I could easily be getting up and pushing like fuck for all the editing and stuff, but I really just need to just chill a little bit, you know.
Gotta look after yourself, innit?
You
Yeah,
do.
exactly. Fucking just chill.
Yeah.
Just do my
On
thing,
that
man.
note, guys, hope you have a lovely weekend, lovely week. Take care of
Mhm.
yourselves. Take care of yourselves. If you are feeling quite stressed out or you're playing games a little bit too much, maybe pause, have a little shower, do a little bit of exercise. Exercise is really good for you. I hate it. I can't fucking stand it. I have a home gym that I don't use, and I kick myself every time I look at it because I go, I need to do some weights. But yeah, take care of yourself, guys. It's really fucking important.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.